And I'm Ronak.
And today we're going to tell you our top 6 travel games to take with you this summer.
And now this list is a very concise list. We had to narrow it down to 3 games each person because there are so many games out there which are traveling games, right?
Yeah.
And it was a tough choice, but we made it. And we'll start with our number 3.
No, but what do you say what are the factors that you consider when you are deciding a travel game?
That's a good question. Okay, so one of the factors that I considered while deciding a travel game is that it should have a small box. Because if I am traveling, I have my luggage in this hand, and on the other hand, I have a lot of boxes. It's not going to make sense. Those are not travel games, right? But what are your, let me just flip the question around to you. What is one criteria that you selected?
I like the box I like to have less components when I'm traveling. So, when we're just sitting somewhere and it takes up a little space to play, and the components are not everywhere. So for me, that is the criteria when I decide my travel game.
That reminds me, the components or the box should also not be a heavy box.
Yeah.
Right? They should not be heavy while traveling because again, I know some small box games which have a lot of components inside them and they have metal coins and a lot of them. I'm not against metal coins. I love them, but maybe not while traveling. Right?
I think
these are very good criteria to consider. So let's go to number 3. Alright. Now, you want to go with your number 3? What's your number 3? Show me.
My number 3 is King Domino by Blue Orange Games. And this is a tile placement game. So you have your kingdom and you're building your terrain around it. And at the end of the game, you win by scoring and collecting more terrain tiles with crown tokens, with crown points on it. And the reason I love this game is because you can just play it in a very small space, like even in the aircraft, probably on your table. And it's a quick 15, I think in a 2-player it goes on for 15 minutes. And around in 4 players it can go about 20 minutes. So I think this is definitely one of the travel games.
Yeah, that's cool.
One of the top.
My third game in this list, my third entry in this list is a game called Point Salad. Now, Point Salad is a very fun game to teach strangers as well. Now, if you're traveling alone, especially if you're traveling alone, which I do sometimes, I am super bored and I don't want to play games online and all the time. What I want to do is I want to whip out some game and I want to play with strangers. In that way, you also get to break some ice with your fellow travelers if it's a long flight. Or you can just teach some children and all of that and just introduce them to the hobby. So Point Salad is one of those games which has only cards in it. It has no text on it. It's very friendly. It's not language dependent, and it has interesting scoring. So when people see cards, they are more likely to pick up the game. So Point Salad is my entry into this list.
Okay, let's go for number 2. My number 2 is Deep Sea Adventure by Oink Games. Do not be fooled by the size of the box. It's a fun game. So basically in this game, we are adventurers and we're going to go deep in the sea to collect treasure. But we have one submarine, we're all in one submarine with limited supply of oxygen. So what you can do is you go collect the treasure and get back before the oxygen gets over. If you get greedy, you can drown with your treasure. And if you're mean, and since it's a shared oxygen, and if you want to be really mean, you can make your other players also drown with you.
Yeah. Fun game to play with strangers.
Yeah. Strangers, and also the strategy is if you can just turn back and get those treasures and get back on your submarine.
Yeah.
So there's a little strategy out there also. So this is a good game.
Yes. Again, I think the same thing, the same points it touches. It's a small box. It's good to introduce. It has a small footprint also.
Yes.
Right. It has minimum components and all of that. I think Deep Sea Adventure is an excellent
travel. One of my favorites.
Any game from Oink Games is a very good travel game. Right? So
they all have small boxes.
They all have small boxes. Yeah, I think you should check out Oink Games as well. They're good publishers.
Yeah. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is a game which is a very familiar game. It's similar on the lines of crossword and Sudoku and all of that. The game's name is called Crisscross. Now, Crisscross is a game where it's a roll and write game.
Okay.
Where people have to roll dice and they have to mark some things on their sheet. Now, the markings that they do will determine how many points that they will get. It's a very clean and neat mechanism. There's nothing fancy or nothing complicated in it. However, it gives you a little bit of it basically scratches that itch of playing a game quickly. Now, Crisscross is a game where you can play solo. Also, you can play with 5 people, and I've played with 22 people at the same time.
Interesting.
All right, and you just have to distribute these things, the pamphlets, and you just have to give a pencil to everyone, and people can play.
So, number 1.
Finally. You hold it properly. Okay.
This is Mountain Goats by Come On Games, and this is a very interesting game. We're basically going from the lowlands to the highlands, and there are 4 dice, so we have to add up the numbers and go ahead on your mountain terrains. And it's crazy fun because every time you go up, you collect your token, the value tokens, and if someone else comes from behind and they just push you all the way down, and you have to restart again, and it's a lot of fun. I've personally played this a lot with my siblings, with my teenage cousins, their parents. Like, I've played this a lot with a lot of my friends.
But have you traveled with it?
I have, and that's the reason I'm saying this is one of my top. This is my top game to travel with, and you can just see how small the box is. So this is my number 1 game.
Lastly, my number 1 is a game which is a little bit of a larger box than all my other entries. However, I can play this with anyone, alright, who is just willing to sit. It doesn't matter where they're sitting, it doesn't matter what they're doing. All they have to do is just shout out suggestions, and that game is Trophies by Facade Games and manufactured or published, I think published in India by Board Game Company, and some of these games are also locally published in India, right? And that's what one of the cool things about our list is that people really like to purchase these games as well. So we would 100% recommend all the games which are here, which are showing right now, are all available in India. Now, coming back to Trophies, Trophies is a game where there's one person who's the judge, and they just have to shout out questions, and everyone, anyone, whoever is there present in the room or present in the compartment or present in the cabin of the flight can participate in this game. They just have to shout back out your answers. Now the judge is the one who decides whose answer is the correct one, and then they just get awarded points. Right? It's so simple, it's so fun, and one of the reasons why it's on the top of my list is because it's more fun than the others. So yeah, that's it. That is our list of top travel games to play this summer. If you have any more suggestions, please write us down in the comment and tell us where to get the game. We'll try and get the game and play it also, because we love traveling and playing games because they are short, they are quick and easy to understand, right? And if you have any other suggestions of other videos or lists that we should make, please let us know as well. We are available on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media, alright, with the name @chai&games. And we have other videos also, which are how to play videos and playthrough videos, so please do check them out as well. And I think it's time now to wrap this up, but we should go. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. This video is sponsored by Mosaic Games. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Do check out their line of games, they are amazing.